We and our consumers also want to drive, however, at something better, a more sustainable future. And part of the notion of progressive luxury is that true luxury leaders should also drive progress. Now, beyond elegant design, powerful engines, flawless finishes, and sweet-smelling leather, Audi innovation is also about a healthier environment, a reduced dependence on petroleum products, and a cleaner and greener tomorrow. Not just for the people who are driving our cars, but honestly, for the greater benefit of society. Also, the majority of people who probably will never drive an Audi. And we believe that the truly sustainable solution is to give today's consumer a much more efficient version of what they already want, whether that's performance, space, fine finishes, or all of the above. Consumers are not willing to compromise. They've told us what they want, and we need to rise to the challenge. Now, it may seem a little bit counterintuitive that I'm standing here talking about sustainability on a day that we are showcasing a whole family of performance cars. But consider that 2 of the cars that you've driven today already went from a V8 to a supercharged V6, demonstrating that even at the high end, you don't need to sacrifice performance for fuel economy. However, it's also very clear that in pursuing sustainability, there is no silver bullet. And if you'll pardon the pun, there's no vault from the blue. But there are several exciting areas where we are innovating. And on the subject of the vault, that is something that we could discuss over dinner. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff to be said about that concept. Now, many of these are efforts to make the vehicles more efficient. Some of the investments also need to be made to make the driver more efficient. But let me start with the vehicle first. We certainly believe that lighter materials are a big part of a sustainable future. And that is why we've pioneered the aluminum space frame that we've heard so much about, which now serves as a skeleton for our A8, R8, and TT models and other ones that are on the pipeline. It weighs half as much as the steel necessary to do the same job and performs with 50% greater rigidity. Now that's important because for every 100 pounds lighter we can make a car, fuel economy increases by 2%. And in the future you can expect even greater strides in this area from Audi, as we'll discuss in a moment. You can take FSI direct injection. By directing fuel directly into the combustion chambers, we reduce heat loss, we reduce exhaust emissions, we reduce fuel consumption by as much as 15%, all of the same time while we improve performance, more power out of the car. You take the turbocharged diesel engine with direct injection, the TDI, which Audi pioneered. Now, many of you will have heard me proselytize for diesel before. I mean, I am the world's biggest diesel advocate, but I wouldn't be so adamant about it if I wasn't absolutely convinced that diesel is not only a clean and viable fuel alternative for America, it is in fact the preferred one. When it comes to the best fuel alternatives for America and for the best driving experience possible, certainly diesel is no longer a dirty word. We say that Americans buy horsepower, but they really drive torque. They want that shove in the back. And diesel delivers incredible torque characteristics while requiring 30 to 35% less fuel than an equivalently powered gasoline engine. Now you multiply that efficiency across a larger population and the impact is quite significant. Some of you might have heard me say before that if 1/3 of US cars, pickups and SUVs were diesel powered, America would save 1.4 million barrels of oil a day. That figure comes from the EPA. It was not invented by me. That's how much oil we import daily from Saudi Arabia. Now, if you think that percentage of cars is a far-fetched number, remember, in Europe today, 1 out of every 2 cars just about is powered by diesel. Our diesel engines that we now sell in the US already comply with the most demanding emission laws in the world, which happen to be right here in California. However, as American policymakers look towards the renewable fuels of the future, diesel truly again presents itself as a strategically sound alternative. 2 presidents in a row have now talked about the potential for fuel derived from biomass because it doesn't compete with food production like ethanol, which in itself is yet another chapter and a fiasco that we can talk about in some other day. We know that biomass to liquid diesel can work. And that's the fuel, for example, that we used to win Le Mans last year. And in addition to the sustainable renewable energy that we can get from biomass to liquid, there's also the reality that America has staggering reserves of natural gas. And through synfuel, we can convert this also to diesel fuel using the existing technologies, existing drivetrains, existing distribution systems. We don't have to invest billions and billions and billions to create new forms of propulsion, all with a beautifully clean exhaust. Now, diesel may not be an overnight sensation, but if we want it to be a long-term solution, then we have to put it in front of the consumer, and that is exactly what we at Audi are doing. Now, the efficiency of a diesel engine is dramatic, but it's just the beginning. We're at work making every single element of the vehicle more efficient, including the driver. For example, we are in partnership here with several California universities. We have a team working on the concept of environmentally friendly navigation. Yeah, you heard right. A navigation system that's designed to calculate the most environmentally friendly route to a destination, the one that will produce the lowest amount of CO2 emissions. Another team is working on smart engines. Gasoline consumption can be reduced by up to 1/3 while the vehicle receives information about its future environment, what it can expect in terms of acceleration. Is there a hill coming? Is it going to require braking? Even the external temperature. We're working on vibration energy harvesting. What is that? Vehicles today have sensors all over the car which are capable of sending information via wireless technologies. But that doesn't help so much because these sensors need to be powered, so they still need to be connected by cables throughout the car. Now, vibration energy harvesting seeks to use the natural vibrations of the car while it's in use to power these sensors so you can remove the cables, reducing weight, which increases fuel efficiency. We have a team looking at ways to incentivize and influence driver behavior. Driver behavior affects as much as 30% of fuel consumption. And do most drivers know the optimum moment to shift gears or to avoid jackrabbit starts or even the best speed for cruising under particular conditions? No, they don't. But if the car told them, the savings could be quite huge. 100 years from now, as we are celebrating our bicentennial, we don't want to look back and say that we were the company building the best cars when the last car was built. We want to be able to say that we were the company that not only built the finest vehicles, but made driving a lasting, sustainable act. And to us, that is the definition of progressive luxury. That is what will allow us to establish ourselves as the world's leading luxury automotive brand. Still, we know that dethroning the reigning luxury leaders will not be easy. And one auto analyst recently observed that brand loyalty is a very difficult hurdle to overcome, especially when it comes to luxury brands. And so Audi is going to be fighting an uphill battle. We fought that battle, and we've won that battle in Europe. The battleground is now in North America, and luckily, heading uphill has never really bothered us. I'd like to thank you now and invite you out to dinner. Thank you very much.